Greetings, YouTube. It is 6:28 a.m. and I am realizing that when I'm in this meditative state early in the morning on no sleep, which they tell me that some people survive on 2 hours of sleep a day. I use a CPAP. Shout out to those of you with sleep apnea, especially because it is undiagnosed. If anyone has ever told you that you wake up gasping for air, that was me for 25 years. And I was in a fight or flight state, and I found myself much more irritable because I wasn't getting oxygen to my brain. And a CPAP helped me be a better player on MCOC because I got more oxygen to the brain when I woke up, and so I started to smile more because I wasn't being triggered, because the more tired you are, the more the noise of the world gives you attitude. And if the noise of the world outside of it, and I don't care, let's say you're walking down the street and you are smiling and you are thinking about how the sun is warm on your face and you are living your best life and today's going to be a great day and you're so thankful, that all of a sudden you hear a police siren and your brain panics because the synapses in your brain say, I'm in danger. I'm about to get a siren to hit me. I don't know. Now, even if it is 3 blocks away, has nothing to do with you, and you're not in danger, the siren still makes your brain go into fight or flight. And when your brain goes into fight or flight, imagine that Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. Imagine that you go from happy child to on guard adult. This channel is all about respecting the fact that to be a citizen of this world and be a humanitarian, you have to be an adult. But the happiest adults have forgiven the trauma that they're carrying with themselves as inner children. Look, I'm going to say some serious stuff in this video. I'm not even going to look at the energy that is annoying me because I need to spend it, because I've got OCD when it comes to not wasting energy in this game. It's like wasting wilds in a slot machine. It annoys me. Okay, so growing up, I had to run away from home. I ran away from home and lived with my best friend who was down the road, down the mountain really, in my small Reynosa, New Mexico village. And what I learned from that experience is that you can do what is best for you in the moment when you see and you escape abuse, but the memories don't leave you. There's a reason why PTSD is so powerful with veterans and why they can't go to fireworks shows, because the trauma of hearing the firework immediately triggers that scared child that had to be an adult and crawl into a bunker when he was being shot at in war. Trauma is often scared children who haven't been able to turn that fear into forgiveness, and that forgiveness into gratitude. And that is how you heal the world. And that is a Super Mario lesson from Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. I am a firm believer that if everybody watching this spends the money that they would spend on MCOC next month on buying a Nintendo DS, I guess, or other ways you could play the game. I'm sure you smart kids out there have emulators and other things that I have no idea. I didn't even know what Riz was until this week. And I'm like, that makes no sense. I know like Rizzo from Grease. Some people watching this might know that reference. And then L Riz and W Riz. If I was to adopt that on this channel, I would kill the phrase. So maybe that's what I can do for humanity. Maybe every time an annoying catchphrase for the youth comes in, they're just like, Prof. Hoff, you are the most embarrassingly dad joke guy I've ever met. So why don't you go ahead and use those words in your videos so you can kill them from our culture? Because no one's going to want to do them after they hear you do. It's like somehow turning the walls of your house whiter than sour cream with your dad jokes. It's just not going to work. I also think that when it comes to this game, like, when it's at its best, it brings out your inner child. When it's at its worst, it brings out your fight or flight. So, your inner child loves Hercules. He is the easiest champion to play to do the best damage. He is MCOC on Madden rookie mode, but he does all Madden like damage. And again, I try to use analogies for different subgroups of this channel, so if you've never played Madden and that didn't make any sense to you, please just stay with me in this lecture. And yes, every video I'm now calling as a lecture because I embrace the fact that I'm proud of being a college professor on YouTube and not being ashamed that I am very average at the game sometimes, because everybody is. No matter how good you are, you just normally don't see those failures from people on their YouTube channel, because KT1 has been incredibly kind and transparent about how many takes it takes him to get that perfect one shot. And what's interesting is, let's say the perfect one shot is 100 restarts. You go to KT's channel for the perfect KO. You go to Prof Hoff's channel to watch him die 100 times. That's the difference between our lanes, and we have to embrace it. But what's really cool is if you come to my channel and you see me die 100 times, it makes you feel better about yourself, because you're like, hey, there's this YouTuber who is unabashedly vulnerable with his failure. And that's what I'm going to be from now on. And nobody can say afterwards. They can say he's not good at the game and he's a boomer or whatever, but they can't say that he's not showing that he's bad at the game. And the reason why I have so many units is I look at that as my mental health resources to not have a panic attack on YouTube. Because if I die, I just revive and I don't have to worry about spending cash for failure. But it's worse for your mental health if you've run out of units and run out of cash and can't farm revives. And Kabam knows that the only way that you're going to get through this content and open those sweet crystal rewards is if you start making unwise purchases, which then make you feel guilty because maybe that's money you should have spent on your family and now you're spending it on yourself. And so then it's affecting your marriage, and it's just this dark spiral of depression. There's a channel out there called Cinema Therapy that breaks down how people view video games, view movies as a way to deal with your inner child crises. I think I want this to be the video game version of that, where eventually I might make a commentary about why I played a video game growing up in the 90s. And I didn't play that many games, but maybe it would be fun to talk about why life is really just a game of Super Mario Kart. And since it's still a video game topic, it may not be MCOC related, but would that be something that you all would like to see? Is me just ranting about my memories of Mario Kart and why it's actually an analogy to learning how to be resilient in life, because every time you think you want to drive a straight path, it's actually more fun to take your time and go around the curve and admire the scenery. But when you need to take a straight path, you have to do it with confidence, because if you hit that boost and you're not confident, you go into the wall because you missed the gap in the shortcut of the level. And every day on this planet is a combination of a level of a video game for you and a comic book issue. Your every day for people who play video games is a new day in a comic book. And it's a comic book in which you are Mario, and sometimes you feel like Bowser is trapping you in a castle, and you're being chased by your ghost of your childhood trauma. I kind of like this idea. I had an epiphany about being like a psychoanalyzer with how video games heal people, because this video game has healed me. I am now enlightened as someone who is, that sounds so douchey, right? Like, roll your eyes. This is where you start to lose people. But I'm just saying, if you go back to my videos, just look at Prof Hoff life lessons. As my hair grows, my forgiveness of myself grows, and my appreciation for the gifts I have grows. And I focus on the emails I get from the universe that are positive thoughts, not the junk mail I get that I could eat all day long, and it's the worst version of Turkish Delight. It's not going to get you full. It's just going to get you full of it. And this channel is at its worst when I'm full of it and clickbaity and lazy. Because when I get lazy, I get clickbaity. I got to be honest. If I'm like, oh, I got to wrap up a video, I'm going to put out a video that has a shocking title that hopefully I can deliver on. And when somebody says clickbait, I believe it's that your title, two things happen when you get clickbaity. your title doesn't accurately reflect the content, and so your title is more exciting than the content, or it's clickbaity in the sense that your title is flat out it's a promise. The title of a YouTube video is a promise that if you give someone your time to click on the video, that they will be rewarded with what they thought they were clicking on. And clickbait is the opposite. It feels like a trick, like you've been scammed. Like, you lose, you get nothing. Good day, sir. That's clickbait. And I'm sorry that when I get lazy, I don't mean to do it intentionally, but when people comment and say this was clickbait, then I'm consumed with guilt and shame that I accidentally, in my laziness and speed to upload something, which is another fault of mine that I'm trying to work on, that I basically threw fool's gold up when really I could have had a diamond. So there are a lot of thoughts in here. I love these videos now. Do you see how on fire I am? Because I'm using, my minor is sociology. I'm using my sociology and psychology education with my journalism education, which is about everything from truth and justice and fighting for that to resiliency and having fun. And I want to turn this game, like, let the really good content creators that are going to give you the best runs of the Abyss and everything, let them show you how to be the best at the game in terms of skill. Let me help you be better. Let me be your free therapist. And I always say, you're paying me what I'm worth, which to everybody is free. So you can't say that, you can't complain about bad advice. I've been going to therapy since I was 16, and I also want this to be a better version of BetterHelp, which maybe is going to sponsor my videos someday. I don't know. That would actually be a sponsor I'd say yes to, because, or maybe they're a scam and I want to find a better version of them. But as somebody that loves to reflect on healing as an inner child, to be grateful as an adult, and how much that connects every fiber of your life. This word vomit I do when I give these lectures on YouTube heals me. So every time I upload a video, it's not for you, it's for me. And hopefully somebody connects with what I'm saying and it makes sense. And I'm going to give a bunch of pop culture. I like to think the pop culture analogies are fun because you never know what I'm going to say. Because I'm a Michael Scott. I start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going, and I hope I just find it along the way. But if I don't find it, it's kind of fun because we've all been there. All right. I know I look crazy. I know I sound crazy, but I'm crazy excited and on fire for this. And I want you to rank up the champs that embrace your inner child. When Hercules is threatened to be nerfed, your inner child is attacked. You go into fight or flight mode, and suddenly you go from happy Bruce Wayne, who had good therapists, to Batman, who's out for vengeance. You go from mindful gratitude to vengeance real fast, because you are not touching my Hercules and making him worse. You feel like there's an injustice in that emotion, because there is. And it's perfectly healthy to react to it. It's not healthy to threaten people. So that is the end of this video. For what it's worth, I am turning this into a philosophy podcast and a video game podcast disguised as this. And if MCOC dies now, I'm just going to move on to the next Marvel game, because I believe superheroes are the best version of ourselves, and I only want to play superhero video games on this channel. And this is what I'm doing for myself. My charity is what I'm doing for the world. My personal YouTube channel is what I'm doing for myself. And what a community we've built, on a community that has somehow still survived when so many games have died since I started playing this. Thanks for watching. Hey, by the way, last thing, I'm going to try, because I'm uploading less videos, to get to respond to more comments. That doesn't mean I'm not going to have to delete some comments, but I like constructive criticism. So if there's something you liked about this video and you think could be even better, let me know. Just know I usually only have about 15 minutes to record a video, and that's why I'd rather give 15 minutes of a lecture, because the best college lectures I had were good stories that didn't need visuals, and my dad's the greatest storyteller I've ever met. He's a college professor who never was a college professor. He was a mailman, and like a Barney Stinson, like a womanizer too. And I'm created from that combination. A jar of mayonnaise in human form. Goodbye.